When the Nevis Reformation Party held its Stand for Nevis rally 14th November in Brownhill, political leader Dr. Janice Daniel Hodge outlined a number of issues, she said, that made the Special Sustainability Zones Authorization Act 2025 bad legislation that is not good for Nevis. According to Dr. Daniel Hodge, the SSZ Act diminishes the powers of the Nevis Island administration since it is the Prime Minister who gives final approval for any SSZ development project. The NRP leader believes the SSZ legislation points to sovereignty threats, citing, for example, the omission of roles for the building board and the need for environmental and social assessments. Daniel Hodge indicated that the party will likely have to turn to the court in order to have the SSC legislation struck down.
What I would say, the other issue that we must be concerned about, why the SSC must be repealed, is because when we look at development on Nevis, under the SSC, it is saying that you do not have to go through our planning department. There are no application fees being paid. People do not understand that once we go through the planning department, that is where we put our measures in place. And so when the legislation said that the Premier or the Prime Minister can establish oversight bodies, and they have not established those oversight bodies, what that says to you is over in the zone, they can build however they want, to whatever they want, and nobody can go in there to stop them. Someone asked me a question. If somebody went over into that zone and had an injury, how would that be dealt with? And nobody can answer that question. And so there are too many questions. The SSZ must be repealed because, as we have said before, it was developed for a particular project. It was not developed for the benefit of the people of this country. And whatever we have to do, we have been making the necessary steps to ensure that, based on what the Prime Minister said, he has no intention of repealing this legislation. And so if it's not going to be repealed, then we must make a submission to the courts so that that legislation can be struck down.
The SSC legislation continues to be an increasing point of discussion and perhaps division among citizens and residents on both islands in the Federation. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
St. Kitts is getting a major boost in regional air access. Intercaribbean Airways has announced a new non-stop service from San Juan, Puerto Rico, beginning December 18, 2025. The twice-weekly flights restore a key link for leisure and business travelers with a quick 1-hour, 10-minute journey. Flight JY643 leaves San Juan for St. Kitts on Fridays and Mondays at 5:20 p.m., arriving at 6:30. The return JY644 departs St. Kitts Thursdays and Sundays at 8:30 a.m. Intercaribbean CEO Trevor Sadler said in a press release from the St. Kitts Tourism Authority that the route strengthens connections across the Caribbean and offers faster access to major U.S. markets. St. Kitts officials agree, calling the service a significant milestone for tourism, trade, and regional mobility. Tourism Minister Marsha Henderson says the new link enhances both regional and international connectivity, while Tourism Authority CEO Kelly Fontenelle calls the restored route a game changer for U.S. travelers using San Juan as a hub. I'm Andre Huey reporting for SKN Newsline.
So sweet! The people of St. Kitts and Nevis have embraced Susan Best and her ministry from the very beginning. Now, 40 years later, she returns to celebrate resilience, a testimony of grace, a legacy of strength. Join Susan Best for a night of worship featuring the timeless songs you've loved through the years, along with new music that will inspire a fresh move of faith. On Friday, November 28th at 7 p.m. at the Antioch Baptist Church, Lime Kiln Commercial Development. Don't miss this unforgettable celebration of grace, growth, and resilience. Tickets are $40 EC. Also, be blessed by performances by Carmela Lawrence, Gospel Flames of Joy, New Generation of Nevis, and Blestina Charles of St. Kitts. Tickets are now on sale at Bestway, Buckley's close to Caribbean Cinema, First Choice in the Amory Mall, Kingdom Travel and Tours, Central Street, Hidden Treasures, Airport Road close to Kumar's Pink Trailer, Pharmacare on 4th Street, and in Nevis at Divinity Touch Gift Shop, Main Street, Charlestown. Get your tickets early and stay tuned to the radio or Susan Best's social media pages. Be blessed in this unforgettable celebration of grace, growth, and resilience.
Everybody give Jesus
Elderly citizens and children are to benefit from a donation of buses from Tron E Energy Technology from the Republic of China on Taiwan. Prime Minister Dr. Terence Chu, on a state visit to the Republic of China, visited Tron E Energy Technology, where he had discussions on partnerships, technical training, and opportunities for collaboration. On his Facebook page, he wrote, quote, "Their work aligns perfectly with our national push to build capacity in EV maintenance, electronic vehicles technology, and solar PV installation and training that our young people are already beginning to receive in St. Kitts and Nevis," end quote. While there, Tron E Energy Technology announced the donation of 2 electric buses to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Dr. Drew wrote, quote, "I extend my sincere thanks to Tron E Energy Technology and to the government and people of Taiwan for their continued support and friendship. Their commitment to our development remains meaningful and deeply appreciated. The buses are set to arrive in early 2026, marking another important step towards a greener, more resilient federation," end quote. The Prime Minister and his entourage have been meeting with the government and private sector officials during his state visit to the Republic of China and Taiwan. Glenn Bart reporting for SK Newsline.
The Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force is investigating an early morning shooting that occurred on November 15th between 4:30 and 5 a.m. in Limekiln, St. Kitts. According to police, Sandy Point resident Wazim Bradshaw reported hearing gunshots while driving near the National Emergency Management Agency NEMA building. Moments later, he discovered several bullet holes along the right side of his vehicle. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. The crime scene unit processed the area and gathered evidence as the investigation continues. Police say updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Anyone with information of the incident is urged to contact the nearest police station or share tips anonymously through Crime Stoppers. In a separate case, police have arrested and charged 2 men following the recovery of an illegal firearm during an operation in Birchhouse on November 12th. Officers with the Special Services Unit attempted to stop a vehicle carrying 3 occupants, but the driver refused to comply, prompting a pursuit. The vehicle was eventually intercepted along a dirt road in Birchhouse. One passenger, Dijon Daniel of Birchhouse Village, attempted to escape on foot but was quickly detained. The driver, Kalicharan Woodley of Mount Idle, Sandy Point, was also taken into custody. A 3rd occupant fled the scene and remains at large. A search of the surrounding area led to the discovery of a Glock 17 Gen 6 pistol, 5 rounds of 9mm ammunition, and an empty magazine. The crime scene unit processed the scene and the vehicle involved was seized for further examination. On November 15th, both Daniel and Woodley were formally charged at the Bastyr police station with possession of firearm, possession of ammunition, and possession of magazine. Investigations remain ongoing. I'm Andre Huey reporting for SKN Newsline.
The people of St. Kitts and Nevis have embraced Susan Best and her ministry from the very beginning. Now, 40 years later, she returns to celebrate resilience, a testimony of grace, a legacy of strength. Join Susan Best for a night of worship featuring the timeless songs you've loved through the years, along with new music that will inspire a fresh move of faith. On Friday, November 28th at 7 p.m. at the Antioch Baptist Church, Lime Kiln Commercial Development. Don't miss this unforgettable celebration of grace, growth, and resilience. Tickets are $40 EC. Also, be blessed by performances by Carmela Lawrence, Gospel Flames of Joy, New Generation of Nevis, and Blestina Charles of St. Kitts. Tickets are now on sale at Bestway, Buckley's close to Caribbean Cinema, First Choice in the Amory Mall, Kingdom Travel and Tours, Central Street, Hidden Treasures, Airport Road close to Kumar's Pink Trailer, Pharmacare on 4th Street, and in Nevis at Divinity Touch Gift Shop, Main Street, Charlestown. Get your tickets early and stay tuned to the radio or Susan Best's social media pages. Be blessed in this unforgettable celebration of grace, growth, and resilience.
Everybody wave.